Guys, in 2019, raised a $37,000 500 pre-seed round to launch his company, Manageable.com, which helps teams get trained better, increases employee engagement. He got his former employer as first customer, now three customers. He's doing about $1,700 per month in revenue. He supported himself for the past 5 years while they built the MVP with consulting work, but is now saying, do I go full time? Do I go all in? We sure hope he does. Hey, folks, my guest today is Steve Petersheim. He's building Manageable. That's mngbl.com, giving you accurate and useful appraisals. Steve, you ready to take us to the top?
Sure.
All right. Did you come from real estate and say, I'm sick of fighting for a 3% commission every month? I'm going to go build software instead?
No, I came from my original career was newspaper distribution. So operations is what I did for the early part of my career. That's way back in the old economy days, Anyway, then after that became, not a thing, didn't want to do that anymore. And then I decided to get into HR because when I decided to change careers and I thought, okay, of all the things I did as a manager, what's the stuff I like the best? And what I came up with was generally what most managers hate, which was all the fun people stuff, all the nonsense you got to deal with. So anyway, then I got into HR. And then that's when I began to really put together all the experience and stuff I had as a manager, and then became aware of some other org dev theories, and then implemented a lot of stuff at a company I used to work at. And then when we looked for a digital solution for what we were doing, there was none. There just was not a digital solution for what we were doing that was on the market. And so that's when then me and the CEO that I worked for at that company, we decided that we were going to build it ourselves. And then I said, if we're going to build it ourselves, we should take it to market because it's valuable and it can work.
What year was that? When did you write the first line of code?
That was 2019.
2019. Okay, so you're helping managers build their best teams, recruit them, retain them, keep them engaged, help them learn faster, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. It's really more about creating a healthy culture and having the system. Manageable is really a communication system, and it's designed to help facilitate productive conversations. The idea is, in the way we look at work, you can't get away from conversations, right? We're not using a computer to try to replace conversations. Conversations is how work gets done, right? Talking is how we get things done. And so the idea is let's make the conversations focused on what matters the most. And we do that by just working, we create a structure, we have a vocabulary that really just helps managers and the culture in general just really focus on what is the actual work being done. And then let's just talk about that. Let's not talk about personality and all this other stuff,
How valuable is your system to them measured by what they pay you, right? What's the average customer paying you per month?
So we're at a very early stage right now. We're actually just getting ready to launch our general availability product.
So are you pre-revenue today, or do you have any beta accounts paying?
We have two. Yeah. So,
okay.
Well, we have three. We have three accounts now, one free and three paying accounts. So we have a little bit of revenue.
Well, Steve, what are they paying? You're testing. This is a beautiful moment at a company, right? You're testing a pricing model.
We are our rate right now is essentially $8 per employee per month. So 50-person company is going to be paying, about $400 a month. 100-person company would be around $800 a month, stuff like that.
How many employees do these first three paying customers have?
So the first company is 50. Then we also have one that's 20, and then a very small one that's 4. So
do they pay for their whole 50 seats at once, or do they just start with a small group?
Well, right now, because again, these are like beta customers, so these are customers we're very close with. We've launched it to the whole team, but they could. We actually are creating a package where somebody could start with a smaller team, because I know that's what we're going to see in the market when we go, because a lot of what we do, it's really going to change. People are going to have to change the way they do stuff. And when it comes to job descriptions and performance appraisals mostly. And so, you might not have an HR team that's ready to push that out to everybody. So they might want to start with a small team and then slowly build that out. And we're going to offer a free trial for that as well.
But right now, 74 seats across 3 accounts at $8 a seat would mean you're doing about $500, or they're paying $592, call it per month on average. And you're doing total right now something like $1,700 per month in revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Okay, now I have a question though. You've gotten through the hard years, which are like the pre-revenue years. How do you support yourself from 2019 to today, your first dollars of revenue?
So personally, I do consulting. So I do HR consulting. And I also have a co-founder. So it's really me and a co-founder. And, we bootstrapped. We did have small initial investment in convertible notes. And then the rest has been bootstrapped since then.
How much in convertible notes did you raise?
37,500 total.
And that was in 2020?
I was in 2019. So that was when I launched. Essentially, that was the initial seed money, which came from my former employer. That CEO that I mentioned that, we decided together that we were going to build this product. That was my former employer. And so
How much equity did you give him for that investment?
Well, it's a convertible note, so there is no equity yet.
What's the cap?
The cap is, well, I don't know. We don't have a cap. We just have mandatory conversion, which is when we get to 300,000, then we have a mandatory conversion. Either 300,000 or December 31st, 2025 is our mandatory.
What's 300,000 what?
Dollars.
Of what?
If we raise $300,000, then that creates a conversion event for the note, and then they get a discount on their
and let's say you don't raise by the end of 2025. What does that convert at? There's got to be a number, like a cap. There's got to be a valuation it converts at.
That is to be mutually agreed upon at a later date.
What if you can't agree?
What happens with anybody? I mean, that's, we don't expect that to happen, but that's a conversation we would have to fight through if it comes to that. We're confident
so you're
it's
sort
not.
of
Again,
okay.
This is my former employer. These people, I have a very close relationship with these people, so we don't see it as a problem. It's a very favorable environment, a favorable note.
You never know how people are going to react, especially years and years after. You never know.
Yeah,
I've seen moms and dads, they lend their son money and then they crush the son. Lions eat their cubs all the time.
I don't doubt that. I'm realistic about it. I know that certainly could happen. That's worst case scenario, which we'll deal with when we get there.
Okay, fair enough. So 3 customers. Tell me about how you got your first 3 customers. Where'd you find them?
Well, so the first one was, again, this was my former employer. So the idea was I left the company to build this product, and then they were building it for that group that we were then going to take it out. So my first customer was that company. They're named Demi Learning. They're a publisher, an education publisher, K through 8 education materials publisher here in Lancaster, but they have international reach. Family business, about 50 employees. So they were the first customer. The next customer came because, so it was interesting. So we spent 2019, I got my co-founder, and we spent 2019 getting our pitch ready, and we were going to go raise money because that's what I
Did you
needed
guys
to
split
do.
equity 50-50 at the start?
Yeah, we're 50-50. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we had our pitch ready. We started to give practices right around February of 2020, and right when we were ready to start making appointments and really going on to go on a seed round, COVID hit, and that shut everything down. So we were trying to figure, and we're neither one of us is engineers, so we're non-tech founders, right? So we have to contract out all the development, and so we were trying to figure out how to get some money. So we came up with an idea. We called it a pioneer plan. And so we hit our networks, our personal networks, and we offered everybody a deal. We said, look, if you are willing to pay for a year in advance, and we didn't even have the software built at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're willing to pay for a year in advance,
which was how much?
Well, it would depend on the size of the company, right? So for Demi Learning, for example, that would be what would that have been? 50 employees times 8 times 12. So that's $4,800 for a company that size. Some of the companies we know, some of the people we were reaching out to, there are 100, 150 companies. So anywhere between $2,500 to $10,000 was the offer. Anyway, if they would pay for a year in advance, we'd bring them in, we call them a pioneer, and then we'd give them a discount on any future purchases with us.
Well, so what did you tell me specifically for them? What was the contract size for them?
For who?
The first customer, the one we're talking about.
Oh, Demi Learning. So it would have been, I don't have the number right in front of me, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000.
And they pay it all up front?
Yeah, they paid that all up front. Yep.
Okay. So how do you go from 3 customers to 300 customers? What's the plan?
Well, that's what we got to figure out now. So again, we've been focused mainly on building the product. We haven't really done any sales. We've been slowly tweaking sales.
But Steve, why is that? You've been doing this since 2019, right? That's 5 years. Don't you sort of have to quit your consulting gigs so that you're forced to make manageable work? Otherwise, you're always going to have manageable as the thing in the back of your head that's a side thing that doesn't get any love.
And that is exactly what we're doing within the next 2 months. So we now have the product to a point where it's stable. We know it's ready. We can now present it to people, and we feel we have a product we can sell. So that's what we're doing now. So now we're going to shift and move to a sales focus. So we are in the process now of creating, a list of contacts. We have a marketing consultant we use that's helping us build out our lead generation platform. And we're just going to go out. We're going to start right now, still staying kind of local. We're not looking to go, broad and national yet, because the customer onboarding process is still a manual process. So we have to be involved in customer onboarding. So
Steve, before we go there though, this is a big moment, right? There's a bunch of folks listening right now that have spouses. And this is honestly the real reason a lot of folks don't make the leap, is because you've got a family to support. So the real question here is, like, when you talk, are you married?
Divorced. I got 4 kids.
Okay, we have 4. Okay, this is my question to you, right? So for someone else listening who's divorced with kiddos, who does consulting, has a really cool side project, like, how do you think through that? Because that's the real, I'm guessing here. I'm definitely guessing here. You tell me if I'm wrong. You've got like real life commitments you have to pay for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, this is my retirement plan. So, when I don't want to go into too much ancient history, but went through a divorce, had a lot of financial tumults there, invested in another business, cashed out a 401k, all that kind of stuff. So this is my last go round. This one has to work, and this one is going to be my retirement plan so that I can help my kids. The past 3 years have been very lean, very lean, but I knew it was what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I tried a couple things. None of them ever really worked, which is why, again, when I got into HR and I knew I was going to do something, and I said, whatever I do next, I have to believe in this thing, because that's the only way I'm going to make it work. I knew my personality well enough at this point. So I'm going to have to work for someone else until I find that thing that I know I'm going to be it's going to be me. I'm going to be it. I'm going to be able to sell. I'm going to live it and breathe it. And which is why when we implemented these processes and I saw this stuff work, and then I saw the market opportunity that there was nothing on the market that existed for this, I knew this was it because I'm passionate about helping managers become, develop better habits, helping
Got
develop
it, Steve.
good cultures and stuff. So I made the commitment because I believe in what I'm doing. But it was
Well, listen,
it
we're
was hard.
rooting.
It was
It is
hard.
hard, and we're rooting for you. We're out of time though, so let's wrap up here with the famous five. Quick one-word answers here, please. Number one, favorite book.
Favorite book, Social Power and the CEO by Elliot James.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I wouldn't say no one in particular right now. No.
Okay. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building the company?
Favorite online tool for building the company. The thing I've been using the most, which I want to move into Figma, but I've been using draw.io to do a lot of my workflows and wireframing and stuff like that.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Between 5 and 6.
Okay. And four kiddos, not married. And how old are you, Steve?
I am 51.
Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
That you don't have to worry so much. Just relax a little bit and try to pay attention to what's happening around and just let things happen instead of trying to make them happen all the time.
Guys, in 2019, raised a $37,000 500 pre-seed round to launch his company, Manageable.com, which helps teams get trained better, increases employee engagement. He got his former employer as first customer, now 3 customers. He's doing about $1,700 per month in revenue. He supported himself for the past 5 years while they built the MVP with consulting work, but is now saying, do I go full time? Do I go all in? We sure hope he does. Steve, thanks for taking us to the top.
It was a great summary, Nathan. You got skills.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.